Hi there. So today's class is going to be about the feet and the ankles and the lower legs. So for the class today, you're going to need a tissue or a handkerchief, just something quite soft and quite light, and a myofascial release ball or a tennis ball, and maybe a little bit of wall space as well. If you want to use blocks or anything else while we're sitting down, you can also grab a block or a cushion. So we're going to start sitting. And we're going to do a little bit of myofascial release first for the toes and the foot. So just grab your left foot, and you can do whatever you like with your right leg. So this position usually isn't that comfortable for most people. So you can bring your right leg out to the side, anything at all, or you can also place that left foot on a block or a pillow as well. And then you're going to go in from the sole of the foot with your right hand. So you want to pull the big toe and the second toe apart, bring the index finger in, and then just start to work your way down the toes, just bringing your fingers in between your toes. For some people, this might also be quite challenging, so just do the best you can, and you can just continue just trying to get your fingers in between your toes. But if you manage to get your fingers in okay, then just let them settle for a few breaths. And then take a few rounds of squeeze and release. So what you want to do is just give your foot a really good squeeze and then release. And then again, squeeze and release. And then squeeze and hold. And we're just trying to get the blood flow going a little bit, just start to wake up that tissue. And we'll do this 2 more times. So you're going to squeeze and release, and then squeeze and hold. One more time, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze and hold. And still with your fingers in between your toes, just start to move the toes back and forward. So you're moving the toes towards the top of the foot and then the sole of the foot. Just beginning to bring a bit of movement into your toes. Then get your thumbs and just go to the base knuckle. So the base knuckle is basically just underneath the big toe on the ball of the foot. And just give a little massage around about there. So thumbs and then index fingers in the front, thumbs just underneath. Just a little bit of a manipulation here. And lastly, just grabbing your ankle with your left hand, start to bring some circles into the ankle. A few times in one direction, a few times in the other. Then start to wring out your foot like a cloth, so moving the ball of the foot one way and the heel the other. Don't overthink this. Just think about the center of the foot, round about the arch of the foot, kind of like the middle of the cloth. And then from here, just release your fingers from in between your toes, stretch out your legs, just have a little look at your toes. Hopefully you notice there's a bit of difference between one foot and the other. So I'm noticing different coloration, the separation in between the toes. This foot that I've been working on also feels a little bit more lively, a little bit more woken up. Then let's move on to the other foot. And this is just a quick release. You can take longer to do this. You can also do this as you're sitting watching telly in the evening, anything like that. So we're just going to start to go in again, right leg up, go in from the sole of the foot. So you're pulling the big toe and the second toe away from each other. Remember, it's the left hand, so it's the opposite hand, and we go in underneath the foot. And then start to pull the toes apart. And from here, you'll probably notice already that there's a bit of a difference. For instance, this foot definitely feels a little bit tighter to me. So you can continue just trying to put the fingers in between the toes, or again, we'll just do 3 times squeeze and release. You're going to squeeze, release, and then squeeze and hold. We'll do this 2 more times. So squeeze, release, squeeze and hold. And then one last time, squeeze, release, squeeze and hold. Then still keeping the fingers in between the toes, just start to move the toes back and forward towards the top of the foot and towards the sole of the foot. Get your thumbs in, begin to massage and manipulate the base knuckle of the big toe. And then also picking up with the opposite hand, bring some circles into the ankle. Circle in the opposite direction. Wring out your foot like a cloth. So again, think of the ball of the foot going one way, the heel going the opposite way. And then finally, just releasing the fingers from in between the toes. Again, just taking a little look, giving your toes a little bit of a wiggle. Next, we're going to do a bit of myofascial release for the calf. So you're going to sit with your legs straight. I'm going to bend into my left knee, bring the sole of the foot on the ground. I'm going to bring the ball underneath the right calf, and I'm bringing the hands behind me. This can be a little bit much on your wrists sometimes, so feel free just to sit up, roll out your wrists whenever you need to. You're going to press down through that left foot, lift the hips, and then roll up and down right in the center of the calf. So right around about where the Achilles meets the soleus, right between the two gastrocs. And you can keep doing this, or you can turn the toes outwards. So you're rolling up and down the outer gastroc. And again, this is just a quick myofascial release. Feel free to do this for longer. You're probably going to find some pretty decent juicy spots here. You can also turn the toes in. So you roll up and down that inner gastroc. And then start to bring your hips down. Just move the ball so it's just right at the top of the Achilles, just where the Achilles starts to meet that soleus muscle. Let the leg be nice and heavy, and then just point and flex the foot. So a little bit of pin and stretch. And then you can move up or down here. Another little point and flex. Maybe up or down one more time. And then once again, just bring the hands behind you, just a quick roll up and down. Now let's move on to the other side. So now bending into that right leg. Extend your left leg. Feel free to give your wrists a little bit of a roll here if you like. Press into the hands, lift the hips. Roll up and down. So right in the center of the back of the lower leg. Turn the toes out maybe. This one, I'm definitely getting more sensation. So again, you might notice you get a little bit more sensation on one side than the other. You might also turn the toes in. And then just bring yourself upright. Just either move the ball or move yourself. So the ball is right just kind of where the Achilles meets that soleus calf muscle. Leg nice and heavy, begin to point and flex through the foot. And then again, maybe moving up, or you might want to move down if you weren't quite there. A little bit of pin and stretch, pointing and flexing. And then one more time, moving up or down. There might be a spot that you've just found that you're like, whoa, that was pretty juicy, I'm going to stay there. And just bringing the hands behind you, picking up the hips again, quick roll up and down. And then release. Still in a seated position. So again, if you do need to find something to sit on, please feel free. Let's just bring the left leg out again. Do whatever you like with the right leg, so you can bend the leg or you can bring it out straight. And then from here, just pick up that left leg, hook the arm underneath the leg, so it's just kind of at the back of the knee, and then start to close the leg off. So you're kind of gripping your forearm with your legs. You're squeezing calf and back of thigh together. We'll go through the movements of the ankle. So first of all, just a couple of point and flexes. So toes down and toes up. And then some side to side scoops. Then we'll take some full circles, so toes down, out to the side and towards you, over to the other side. And try and make sure that this movement is coming from your ankle. Do two more, so down to the side, towards you to the other side. So you're still hugging that forearm, one more. 3 in the opposite direction, so into the middle, towards you, out to the side and back down. Middle, towards you, side and back down. One more. And then from here, bring the heel down. Release your poor forearm. We're going to do a little bit of knee flossing. So what you want to do is find your shin bone. So you'll find your kneecap, that kind of little dimple underneath your kneecap, and then you'll find your shin bone that goes right down the front of your shin. Just place your fingers lightly on that and just start to turn the toes side to side, and you should feel that shin bone rotating underneath your fingers. Got a little stone on the mat here. It's digging into my heel. And then let's turn the toes out actively. Bring that left hand to the inside of the foot and then start to press the hand and the foot together. And then just keep the hand where it is, try and pull the foot away. So turning the toes out more. And then turn the toes in, bring the right hand to the outside of the foot, press together. So as if you're trying to bring that foot back in, but your hand is stopping you. Keep the hand where it is and then try and pull that foot in a little bit more. So now you're turning the toes more in. And then relax. We'll do the other leg, so right leg. So right arm underneath the back of the knee. Squeeze that forearm. So again, this movement just comes from your ankle, not from your knee or your hip. Couple of point and flexes. Toes up and toes down. And then a couple of side to side scoops. 3 circles in each direction, toes down, out to the side and towards you and into the middle. Down, side, towards you and middle. One more. Remember, try not to let the movement come from any other part. 3 in the opposite direction, down, into the middle, towards you and back out. Down, middle, towards you and back out. One more. Nice, slow, controlled circles through the ankle. Then bring your heel down. Find that shin bone. So again, kneecap, that little fleshy bit underneath, and then that bit of bone that runs down the front of your leg. Press the heel down and just start to move the foot side to side so you feel that shin bone rotating. And then just one stretch each side. Turn the toes out. Right hand to the inside of the foot. Press together so you feel the inside of the ankle activate. And then stop pressing, just try and turn your toes out that little bit more. So you're activating the closing angle of the joint on the outside of the ankle. And then bring the toes in, bring that left hand to the outside of the foot, press together. Keep the hand where it is, try and turn the toes in that little bit more. So now activating that closing angle of the joint on the inside of the ankle. And then relax. And you can give your legs a little bit of a shake if you like. Okay, we're going to do one more thing, just in a kneeling position. So if you want to use blocks for this, feel free. So blocks might be your friend when you come into a kneeling position. So let's just bring our left foot forward. You can do whatever you like with that right leg. So you can kind of bring the right knee closer to the left heel or further away. And what I want you to do is really lean into that left leg. So your belly, your chest is on your thigh, the knee is coming forward of the ankle. And so you're starting to feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the ankle and the Achilles. And then just start to press the ball of the foot down, reach the heel back and down, and imagine you're trying to pull the top of the foot towards the shin. So you're really activating through those muscles in the front of the lower leg. And then just relax and lean into the stretch. And we'll just do this one more time for this one. So press into the ball of the foot, reach the heel back and down. Keep leaning that knee forward of the ankle. And then try and imagine you're trying to pull the top of the foot towards the shin. It's not going to happen. And then relax into the stretch. And then we'll just swap sides before we come to stand. So I'll just flip myself around. So now your right foot forward. Lean into it. So again, that back knee might come further forward, further back. Doesn't matter so much as long as it's somewhere you're comfortable. If you also need to, you might also pad that back knee with a blanket or fold up your mat if you have sensitive knees. Start to feel that stretch in the back of the ankle and the Achilles. Press the ball of the foot down, reach the heel back and down. And try to visualize yourself pulling the top of the foot towards the shin, so you feel those shin muscles engage. And then relax into the stretch. And then one more, press the ball of the foot down, reach the heel back and down. Pull the top of the foot towards the shin. And then relax. Okay, we're going back again to that left leg. This time, we're going to try and activate our toes. So spread your toes nice and wide. And then see if you can lift just your big toe. If you can't lift your big toe, just bring the fingers underneath your toe and pull it towards you. If you can, great. And then bring the big toe down, see if you can lift the rest of your toes. Again, if you can't, just bring the fingers underneath your toes and pull them towards you. If you are pulling them towards you, see if you can release. And then lift all the toes up, see if you can just bring your big toe down. Again, you can push it down or hold the rest of the toes up. Lift it up and see if you can bring the rest of the toes down, keeping that big toe lifted. That's one for you to practice if you can't do, so you can keep on switching. And then let's just do the other leg. I'm just keeping this brief, but you can, if you're finding this challenging, try these exercises a few times. So again, see if you can just lift that big toe. If you can't, bring the fingers underneath, pull it towards you. And then again, see if you can release the fingers, still keep it lifted. Bring the big toe down, lift the rest of your toes. Lift all the toes up, bring your big toe down. Lift your big toe up, bring the rest of the toes down. Remember, you can use your hands to help to start off with. And relax. And then from here, we're going to come up to stand. So come up to stand and grab your myofascial release or tennis ball. We'll do a little bit of myofascial release for the soles of the feet. So bring the ball just underneath the arch of the foot. Start on whichever foot you like. I'm starting with my least painful foot because I know which one I get more tension from, and just start to roll up and down the arch of the foot with the ball. So you can put decent pressure on here. Make sure you get the inner arch and the outer arch, as well as going right up and down the middle. Just kind of rolling back and forward. This is a great one if you do spend a lot of time on your feet, if you're spending a lot of time walking, running. Great prep, great recovery. And bring the heel down, bring the ball where the ball of the foot meets the arch, press down and go side to side. Bring the ball a little bit higher so it's just at the base of the toes. And again, press down and rock side to side. Bring your big toe onto the ball now. See if you can get the rest of the toes down as much as you can. If you're using a tennis ball, this might slip away, so you can also stand at a wall or just bring the ball in front of something or bring your opposite heel in front as well. See if you can press that big toe into the ball. If that's enough, stay here or start to lift and lower the heel. So this is what we call toe flossing. And then bring the rest of the toes onto the ball. Press them down. Usually my pinky toe drops down, so don't worry too much if you can't get them all on your ball. Depends on the side of the ball as well. Again, you can just press them down, stay here, stretching them, or once again, just lift and lower that heel. A few little heel pumps. And then from here, bring the ball of the foot down, bring the ball where the heel meets the arch, so almost like you're wearing a pair of high heels with the ball as your high heel. Press down and go side to side. So this is working on that connection of your plantar fascia to the heel. And lastly, just that light scribble of the ball underneath the foot. And let's go on to the other foot. But before we do, just have a little walk around and just see how that foot feels in comparison to the other. So just like when we had our fingers in between our toes, that difference in coloration and sensation. And just start to bring the ball just underneath the arch, press down, and just roll up and down. It always feels so good. Bring the ball where the ball of the foot meets the arch, so heel is down, press down, go side to side. Bring the ball a little bit further up, just at the base of the toes, press down, go side to side. Bring the big toe onto the ball, rest of the toes down, press it down, see if you can lift and lower the heel. Remember, if this is challenging, you don't have to lift and lower the heel, just practice stretching that big toe. Always remembering that, our feet need to have a little bit of movement too. They also need looked after and exercised. And then bring the rest of the toes onto the ball, press down, lift and lower the heel. Happy feet equal happy knees, equal happy hips. And then bring the ball where the heel meets the arch. The ball foot is down, press down, go side to side. And then lastly, just this light scribble of the ball underneath your foot. Just waking up that tissue. And then let's pop the ball away. And grab your tissue or your handkerchief or kitchen roll or whatever it is. And we're just going to see if we can start to pick this up with our toes. So beginning to activate the toes and the arches of the foot. So just see if you can start to bring your foot onto the tissue and see if you can just kind of scrunch it up and pick it up. You can see that I haven't done this in a while. And you should really start to feel like the arch of the foot, the toes. You can always have a wall here to balance as well, or a chair. And again, just trying to pick it up as much as you can. And even that action of trying to scrunch and pick it up, so kind of pulling the toes towards your heel, you'll feel your arches start to wake up. Once you've done that a few times on one foot, see if you can practice on the other foot. So again, just seeing if you can practice picking that tissue up. Ooh, I can really feel the arches of my feet start to turn on. And again, don't worry if you can't, just that action of scrunching your toes towards your heel will start to really activate those arches. Just do it a couple more times. And then lastly, we're just going to quickly just roll out the ankle. So just bring your hand onto a wall and just come onto the toes and just do a little roll around. Rolling out the ankle. Roll in the opposite direction, just sort of rolling over the toes. And then the other leg. Other side. Then just a little calf stretch, just bring the leg behind. So basically just bring one leg behind, bend into the other knee, and just reach the heel back and down. And then bring the top of the foot onto the mat, just bend into the knee and straighten the knee. So you're on the toe side of the foot, just stretching out the front of the ankle. And then other leg. So one foot is forward, the other foot is stepped behind. So you're bending deeply into that knee, reaching the opposite heel back and down. And then coming onto the top of the foot. And again, just bend and straighten, so you're stretching out the front of the toes, the front of the ankle, which we often forget about. We spend a lot of time with our feet in dorsiflexion, so it's important to make sure that you're opening up that tissue at the front. And that is us done. So you can just give your feet a little bit of a shake. So I hope you enjoyed that. A really nice preparation for if you are getting out and about now. The weather is getting better. Please do let me know in any comments how you found that, any suggestions you might have, anything you might want to do. And thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.